What is up, y'all? You're tuned in to a new episode of the Fastlane podcast. And as you might notice, it's got a new coat of paint. It looks different, sounds different, but I have a guest from the previous era of the podcast, which is Fastminer07.
Yo, what's good?
All good, bro. I was just, thinking about the previous podcast we recorded again, so... People don't know, but that podcast is lost media now.
Yeah.
It happens, but it's cool because I got stuff that I have to talk about. I mean, we talked about racing game soundtracks.
Yeah.
But there were a couple things that I missed, that I forgot to share with you. But, we're gonna talk about the same thing, but in a different way.
Okay.
And... the topic for this episode is, what are the 3 racing games with the best soundtracks, in your opinion?
Top 3 racing game soundtracks. Okay. My top 3 is probably... I'm going to go bottom to top, so I'm going to do third first. I'd say number 3 for me is probably the original Forza Horizon.
Perfect.
That soundtrack, it's got such a good mix of both, what works of the time in that game, with a couple, classic tracks, too, but also just fitting the vibe of what that game is. That's something I really look for in a racing game soundtrack, is making sure that it fits in with what that game is and is about. And in that same vein, I think my number 2 track, or my number 2 racing game soundtrack, is probably the most fitting for its time and place of any racing game soundtrack, in my opinion, and that is Need for Speed Underground 2.
Yes, that's a perfect pick.
Yeah, because there's not only just a bunch of variation in that soundtrack, but when I think of 2004 music and say a very LA inspired city, basically all of that game's music just hits in so many different ways. Whether it's the menus, the racing, just cruising around, all of it just sort of works. But in my opinion, and this is going to be a bit surprising on which entry in this next series I pick, probably my favorite racing game soundtrack, period, is Midnight Club LA Complete Edition.
Honestly, I completely get that. To be honest, I completely understand that. Why do you like that so much, though?
There's a couple reasons. Not only does it have, the same strengths of fitting the time and place very well, but it's also that, I don't know if people noticed, but the Midnight Clubs have a stupid number of songs in them, especially for the era they were released in, licensed tracks. I think, say, go back to Midnight Club 3, the Need for Speeds that were out at that time were Underground 2 and Most Wanted. Those had 30 to 40 tracks in them. I'm pretty sure 3 Dub Edition Remix had almost 90 tracks.
Yeah, no, that is the thing.
Yeah, and LA continued that, because I think the Complete Edition of LA, so this is after the South Central DLC, but before the tracks that were taken out with the 10-year anniversary update. I think it capped at almost 120 songs. And they had for basically every genre, they had 24 picks. They had West Coast hip hop, they had general hip hop, they had metal, rock, a bunch of really good electronic stuff, a couple more just general pop tracks. And all of it just gave you this, it gave you that LA vibe. It was everything from Beverly Hills to Compton to, all of that you got through Midnight Club LA's soundtrack. And as much as people talk about 3 and talk about 3's soundtrack, and 3 is amazing, do not get me wrong, 3 would probably be, if not in my top 5, at the very least top 10 best racing game soundtracks of all time, at the very least. But it's the greater spread that had to appeal to, from being in Detroit and Atlanta and what's the third city? Why am I not thinking of it right now?
Isn't it like San Diego?
Yeah, it is San Diego. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's either, I'm pretty sure could be San Francisco, but I'm pretty sure it's San Diego. Which to me, those are still really good cities to have a game like 3 in, but you kind of have to spread yourself out a little bit to capture the vibes of those areas. While in MCLA, they focused the entire game on one city, and I think that helped in producing the vibe that they went with. And it's just so clean and so solid all the way through. Even in the few weaker tracks that I think there are, which there are some tracks that I usually skip, it's less because they're bad and more because they're just in genres I don't listen to as much. But I reckon for someone who is a listener of those genres, and because there's a lot to listen to, there's gonna be some really good stuff in there.
Yeah, like, I share the same feeling when it comes to Rockstar curating soundtracks for their games. Because they never miss. Like,
right.
When it comes to the Grand Theft Autos, all of them are classics in their own regards. You know, Vice City is amazing when it comes to the soundtrack. San Andreas as well. 4, 5. All of the GTAs are great when it comes to the soundtracks. But the same goes for the Midnight Clubs. You know, I haven't played it too much, like Midnight Club 2 a lot, but I remember the soundtrack and, you know, the electronic feel, the house feeling. It's really good.
Right.
And LA has a really eclectic selection. It really has something for everyone. Like, you got rock, you know, West Coast hip-hop, electronic, and when I heard the Electric Feel song by MGMT, remixed by Justice.
So good. It's so good.
It's really good. Like, how do they have the best music curators, these guys, like, I swear to God.
Yeah. Like, that was my introduction to both MGMT and Justice in the same track, and now, I don't know if they're, like, my favorite bands, but they're definitely in my rotation, just because I heard them, and I'm like, I gotta hear more of this, especially Justice, because, like, I'm surprised Justice as a band isn't in more race game soundtracks, because that, like, pumping electronic music that's not overbearing, but still has that real energy and push to it, is, like, perfect for racing games.
Oh, definitely. Like, the only racing games I remember Justice being in is Forza Horizon 3 and Need for Speed Undercover. I mean, Undercover had a fantastic soundtrack. Shame the game is not as good as the soundtrack, you know?
Right.
But, you know, I appreciate the addition of, like, rappers from the West Coast, and, like, to get that feel of, how do I say this, the accuracy of artists from the place the game is set in. Something that Need for Speed Unbound didn't do. Like, you would expect rappers from Chicago, but there's no one, like, it's nearly non-existent. And you got, like, world music in there, and it's weird. Yeah. But, you know, it's cool to see that Rockstar did their homework and added a lot of artists from that area, and it's really varied, and there's something for everyone. Now, of course, there's a couple skips here and there. For example, I was playing Midnight Club LA on the Xbox, and my brother came in because he heard Block Party, and he was like, couldn't they pick any other song instead of Mercury? Like, they have like 20 songs from that album that they could have picked, and they chose Mercury. And I was mean, yeah.
That's fair. Like, it's not gonna be all 100% winners, and, like, that is a fair thing to say. I even said similar stuff in some of my later Need for Speeds of, like, or even some of my later Forza, like, takes, which was, this is a really good artist. Why didn't you pick something that actually fit the game?
Yeah, like, I don't know about you, but, you know, have you heard Heat Waves by Glass Animals?
Yeah.
I don't get why they picked a remix instead of the original, because the remix is inferior, completely inferior, in my opinion. For, like, Forza Horizon 5, like, that game is, like, weird choices when it comes to music. It has a lot of weird choices. It's bad.
Yeah, probably. Although, to be fair, I'm probably not the best person to judge it, just because I was not that big of a fan of the original. Mainly because of overplay, if I'm being honest, but still.
I get that. But, anyways, when it comes to the top 3, it goes Forza Horizon, Need for Speed Underground 2, and Midnight Club LA.
Yeah.
Now, retreating from the original podcast, the 3 worst soundtracks. Or the worst soundtrack, if you want.
3 worst. I did think this over a little bit, and I struggle to even come up with, like, truly abysmal soundtracks that I could really think of. And, like, there's a couple answers that, like, come to mind, but don't feel right, because I know either they're soundtracks that they get shit on too much, more than I think they deserve, or soundtracks that I don't honestly think are that bad. I just can't think of worse examples, I guess.
Yeah.
I could say something like Grid 2019, I guess. But that's because that whole game is more or less the absence of vibe. So
Yeah.
it not having a very good soundtrack is kind of a given in that. Which, to be fair, games not having a good vibe isn't necessarily indication of it not having a good soundtrack. See Undercover again.
Yeah. I told you that I had a music channel on YouTube, and
Yeah.
I know my fair share of racing game soundtracks, because it's one of the things that make or break a game for me. And,
Right.
I played my fair amount of shitty games that have shitty music as well. And,
Right.
I would say that stuff like Super Street the Game, or, Street Racing Syndicate have the worst soundtracks, because they're those types of games where the soundtrack is comprised of 12 songs, and they're looping over and over and over again. And
Right.
not only they're repetitive, they're bad songs. And, I feel that Super Street the Game or Street Racing Syndicate are the worst games when it comes to the soundtrack. And lots of people put Need for Speed Unbound in that bag, which is... it's another can of worms that shouldn't be open now.
Yeah, I was gonna say Unbound, because, like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Unbound, but I feel like at this point it's too overhated to say, like, I dislike it that much. Because I don't think of it as being, like, when I think worst racing game soundtracks, Unbound isn't the first one I go to.
There's also those videos that you probably found them on your feed, and they go something like Need for Speed Most Wanted soundtrack versus Need for Speed Unbound soundtrack. And
Yeah.
it's like, dog.
And it's always Disturbed. It's always Disturbed.
It's
That's the only
always-
track they ever, yeah.
I hate that song. I absolutely hate that song. Like, you could put Nine Thou as the icon song for Most Wanted instead of Decadence by Disturbed.
Disturbed probably isn't even in my top 10 most wanted tracks. Like, there's a bunch I could think of, both from the races and menus, that I would have in, like, regular rotation over that.
Yeah. I don't get it. Like, you got
Nine
stuff by...
Thou, Skinny Man, Do Ya Thing, all of
Yeah.
those.
You got shit by Cell
Bruh.
Dweller. Like,
Yeah.
Come on. What?
Either
But
of the
yeah.
Cell Deller tracks, like, I'd even take I Am Rock over fucking Disturbed at this point.
Or You'll Be Under My Wheels by The Prodigy. Like, come on. It's just...
Yeah.
it's strange, but I get the feeling when people say that Unbound had a mid soundtrack, because there's like few songs that are really good, and the rest are something that don't fit or are simply too experimental. And
Right.
I don't mind them doing a world music playlist, because that is sick.
Yeah.
But they didn't nail it. like, FIFA does a way better job doing world music than Need for Speed Unbound did. And
Right.
It's weird, but...
Well, that's because to me, FIFA feels like it's supposed to be an international game, so, like, as a baseline, international music is going to make way more sense in FIFA than it will in bootleg Chicago.
Yeah, that surprises me, and... You know, changing topics, I was gonna tell you my top 3 when it comes to the best racing game soundtracks.
Okay.
So, the third one will go for Blur.
Okay.
The Blur soundtrack is something that... I played it for the first time and I was like, oh my god, this is something that I've never heard before. Like...
Right.
It does such a good job to, like, it fits the game somehow, like a game about like a Mario Kart but with real cars. It's just, it fits the vibe perfectly, and I love the soundtrack so much in that game. The second one has to be Need for Speed Payback, I think. Like,
yeah, I know you had mentioned you really like the soundtrack to that, and I'm not gonna say it's bad, it's just when people say favorite, that's a surprising one to hear.
yeah, it's like the kind of response that would get you stoned, but I just love the soundtrack so much. I think it fits the environment a lot, and it's a shame because the story sucks. Like, it's funny, but it sucks. It's so stupid. But, you know, you got some stuff like Run the Jewels, Barnes Courtney, Royal Blood, Queens of the Stone Age, Nas, DJ Shadow.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool soundtrack. And, by the way, there's an insider Twitter page that talks about the music industry. And they said something about RTJ5. So, we might be getting RTJ5, like, at last.
Ooh, yes. Well, because I think, isn't RTJ one of those, like, it's not either of their main things, so that it's just like a we'll get around to it sort of thing when they do?
Yeah, because, like, LP and Killer Mike, they both have solo careers, and they're doing their stuff.
Right.
And...
yeah.
You know, I mentioned that I listened to Fantastic Damage by LP and Rap Music and Michael by Killer Mike, and they're really good albums. Like, there's shit that I never bothered to listen, but when I did, I was like, why didn't I listen to this before?
Right.
What? It's literally that. And, you know, RTJ is one of my favorite hip-hop and rap groups ever, because they both have their thing. Like, LP has the great production, and Killer Mike and LP as well, they spit some good shit in there, and I just love that. I love their albums.
Right. I need to check more of this stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, go for it. RTJ3 though. RTJ3. Check that one out.
RTJ3?
Their best album for sure.
Gotcha. Definitely checking that one out most then.
Awesome. But anyways, 3 definitely goes for Blur. Second one goes to Need for Speed Payback, and number 1 goes for Forza Horizon 1. Like, that's my top 3 definitely. Those songs are completely, like, those soundtracks are completely fantastic, and honestly, I love them.
Right. It's just like the blending and also the use of tracks. Like I mentioned in the original one, how they have like the really good garage sound, which, like, it's not just that the music is used in the garages, it's that it sounds like if you've ever been in a car shop or in someone's garage and they have like an old dinky radio or boombox or something like that. They're just playing the radio or CDs or whatever off of. That's what it sounds like being in that setting. Like, it's off in the distance and it's echoey, but it presents the vibe of a garage better than almost any racing game garage has ever had, really.
Yeah, like, Forza Horizon 1 was like literally lightning trapped in a bottle, mostly because they got a festival music curator to, build up the soundtrack, and it's really good.
My man robbed a bank, the GOAT.
Yeah, they gotta bring him back. I don't know why they didn't bring him back.
Real.
Like, he wasn't the first and the second one, and that's it.
Before we wrap, I actually want to ask you something, and I might give my own input too, because we've both had Horizon 1 on the list, and we've mentioned a little bit the more recent one. What would you, and I'll give some of my own input too, what would you really want to see on Horizon 6 soundtrack?
That is a really good question. In my case, I would love to see like a Japanese record label as a radio station.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's something that we didn't get since Horizon 2. No, Horizon 3. Like, we got an Australian record label, which was Future Classic.
Mm-hmm.
And, we didn't get any British record label stations in 4, or a Mexican one in 5.
Yeah.
So
I think in 4 there was like an increase in British artists on the other stations, but I don't know if they didn't have like a dedicated one.
Yeah, it's odd. Like, they barely had any British or artists from the UK in 4.
Yeah.
So that's like, I was expecting Gorillaz to be in there.
Yeah, really.
I know, the Arctic Monkeys.
Because I could have seen like 192000 or Diplo or some. Is it Diplo? What's the track with What's the track off Plastic Beach I'm thinking of?
Diplo. What?
Fucking. Let me look this shit up. Fucking. I'm stupid. Plastic Beach.
Stylo?
Stylo. That's the one.
Oh, that one.
I don't know why my mind went to Diplo.
I was like, was Diplo on the soundtrack? I don't remember that.
No, but I was just thinking, like, I think one of those kind of tracks, just especially for cruising, like, Gorillaz is insane cruising music. I'm not even gonna lie on that.
I know, like, that year, like, 2018, the same year that Forza Horizon 4 dropped, Gorillaz released the Now Now, a new album. And
that was I thought it was Animal First, or was it Animals? But that was before then, wasn't it?
No, that was Humans in 2017. And the Now Now was in 2018. And a song I would have loved to see there from that album was Lake Surrey. Or Lake Zurich. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's an instrumental.
Zurich, like the Swiss city, I imagine?
Yeah, the Swiss city. Exactly.
Okay.
And I think that song would have fit perfectly. But my friend told me that they could have added grime and Forza Horizon 4, like a grime radio station, for example, Rin's FM or something like that.
I think grime would have worked, but the problem is, I don't think, and this is going to sound goofy to say, but I don't think Horizon 4 is grimy enough for grime. Like,
I know.
It just doesn't present that.
Yeah, at that point, the franchise was pretty much very infantilized. Sanitized. And let me tell you, Block Party and Forza Horizon 1 would have been crazy.
Yeah, like, there's definitely some artists I want to see return, whether it be like Block Party. Fuck, Justice released a new album a year or two ago. Put a couple of their tracks on the new soundtrack. That'd be perfect. Fucking...
Block Party dropped?
Oh no, Justice.
Oh, Justice. Yeah, no, Hyperdrama. Listen to Hyperdrama. Listen to Hyperdrama. That shit is gas.
Like, literally, this is right. Like, that's the problem with some of these soundtracks, is it's so easy to make us to do better with them. The only problem is just licensing. But then I checked the soundtracks of who they did get, and they licensed a bunch of other big names, and I'm like, it can't be that hard to get them. If y'all got, like, Kendrick and, like, some of the biggest DJs in the world, like, if you manage to get them, there's no way, like, Gorillaz and Justice is that big of a stretch.
Yeah, no, literally. Like, I think most of it's, money issues, but...
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 5 was one of the most successful Game Pass titles in a long time, so...
Right. Like... That's the one. That's one of the ones they hold up as like, see, Game Pass can actually make money. Just don't look at like all the small titles or Halo Infinite.
Right. No, but like they added Epitaph and Horizon Wave for the 5th one. And
wasn't Epitaph also in 3? I thought.
Yeah, Epitaph was in 3, but it wasn't in 4.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, did they roll kind of like the heavier rock metal stuff back into XS with 4 then? Because instead of having Epitaph.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Like 3 didn't have like XS or Horizon Rocks. It didn't have like a rock station per se, but it had Vagrant and Epitaph. Vagrant was a record label station that had like soft rock, kind of poppy music a bit, and Epitaph was just
wasn't that where they had like the 1975 and stuff like that?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly. Or Blink 182 or Cruiser or stuff like that, more indie rock.
Yeah.
Or Albert Hammond Jr.
I don't even know who that is.
That guy. He was one of the Strokes, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it was split in Epitaph and Vagrant, and Epitaph was the harder stuff, you know? Hard rock, kind of metal.
Yeah, hard rock and metal like Weezer.
Oh my god, Weezer! Was Weezer in there?
I don't think Weezer's on Horizon 3, but Weezer was signed to Epitaph at the time Horizon 3 was released.
Wait, no fucking way.
Shit you not.
Oh my god, it did!
Yeah.
It was!
I only know this because the only bit of Weezer media I know is I watched like a documentary on their entire discography up to like a year or two ago, and that's something I remembered seeing was they were signed to Epitaph.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
And like, I've never, they've made metal adjacent music before, and like a couple of their songs I think were influenced by metal, but I would never call Weezer a metal band.
No, it's more goofy rock.
Right.
I would call them goofy rock, like, or just indie.
At most, I would call them hard rock, because they've had a couple tracks that like fit that general sound, but even then, like...
Yeah, nah, like, I don't listen to Weezer, but I can tell you that I listen to Pinkerton, and that album is really, really nice.
Right.
But that's all I can say about Weezer.
Right, and I'm in a similar boat. It's just funny learning that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, yeah, in the end, I would just love for them to have a Japanese record label station.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I curated a music playlist for, think of it as a wish list for Forza Horizon 6 soundtrack, and
Ooh.
I did it with this content creator called Horizon Remixed, who does this alternative playlists, like Horizon Colorado 2012 alternative playlist, and this guy just puts his wish list of what he would have loved to see in Forza Horizon 1's soundtrack, and we were doing that with 6. We did Pulse, Base Arena, Block Party, XS, and I added this net label from Japan that, you know, has indie artists that it's called Anotrax, and I'm surely gonna show it. I'm gonna post it here and put the links in the description if anyone wants to listen to that. And yeah, that you will see what I would love to see in there. And yeah, for me, that would be the thing that I would love to see in Forza Horizon 6's soundtrack. How about you?
I definitely would agree on that kind of stuff. And even like, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last podcast, but I think even outside of Justice, a majority of like the Ed Banger crew, like the record label that Justice is on, have some incredible potential for racing game soundtracks, whether it's Sebastian, Breakbot, Dr. Ozio, like any of those have some incredible music that would like really elevate a racing game soundtrack, especially one that has kind of like a dirtier city sort of vibe, because that's what a lot of that music makes me feel, is like being, even if it's like music that's been listened to hundreds of thousands or has millions of streams, it still gives me that kind of underground rave sort of vibe, which I think is a perfect fit for a lot of racing games. Like, it brings me back to Midnight Club 2 and that kind of one.
I get that feeling, honestly. And, you know, when you say Headbanger, I think of Trackmania Turbo. And that is a game that, if you didn't play, go play it. And if you played it, go play it again. It has such a good soundtrack, like Busy P, Oliver.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's on there too.
Yeah, and Oliver is like an artist that I really enjoyed, and I discovered thanks to Trackmania and FIFA. And those guys don't drop anything in like 10 years. It has been like almost 10 years and they haven't dropped anything.
That's another thing. Like, I imagine, especially for these artists that haven't dropped in a while, I imagine the fees are probably going to be a lot less because they're not in like big circulation or getting a lot of attention. Unless it's something I don't know. Maybe it's like the car industry where like, oh, well, this lesser known thing, because it's not being actively pushed, we're going to charge more for it to make up the difference. One of those.
Yeah, things like the record labels from Headbanger, which is, it's a radio station I would love to see in a Forza Horizon game, I'm not gonna lie. Like Headbanger Records, that shit is.
Oh, like as its own station would be insane.
It would be great. Like, honestly, in Forza Horizon 5, Base Arena, low-key was becoming Monster Cat Radio. It's strange, but yeah, we should like analyze each peak of your top, because you know, you started with Forza Horizon. I mean, we pretty much talked about it a lot in this episode, but in a nutshell, I think it's the perfect soundtrack. I don't have it in my top 1 for no reason. It's perfect. It has a couple songs that you can frown upon, like Lost Prophets. But yeah, those guys are, I don't know. There's some good songs in there though. If they do a remake or a remaster, they're still gonna remove Lost Prophets.
Yeah, which that's valid.
That's fair.
That's valid.
It's okay. It's valid. Don't worry. It's all good. You can replace it for something that, you know, fits better. It's crazy because they were gonna add a Black Sabbath song, like Paranoid.
Paranoid. Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would fit, but like, I'm interested in that because like that's a good song, but like as racing music, that is. Ooh.
Yeah, it's crazy because
I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, because like they tried a really old song for Horizon Base Arena, which was Blue Monday by New Order.
Yeah,
and you love that song, and
right. Granted, I think at the time it had been like recently redone or remastered, so it was slightly different from the original '88 or I think it was '88 release. But it still was like the vast majority of that is still based on the original recording. Like it's still got the I think it's the LM. Is it the LM1? Or is it the which one is it?
You got me there.
Not the LM1 drum machine. What's it fuck what's it called? It's not the 808 because it was before the 808 drum machine. Yeah, it was the Lin LM1 drum machine because that's that kick comes straight from that drum machine. Is that
Oh yeah, you're right. The Lin LM1.
That really bassy kick drum. It's just bass. It's just no. It's not the Lin drum. Fuck.
No.
It's the Oberheim. It's the Oberheim DMX. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember I had to actually because I did a cover of Blue Monday for a video, and I went and looked for the samples of it, and I could have gotten like an Oberheim DMX VST because they make like a virtual version of it now. Oberheim or whatever company owns Oberheim. The problem is it's like $300.
Jesus,
and I wasn't gonna do that.
Christ.
Yeah, yeah. So I just went and found the samples that they used because at that point you couldn't. I think you could, get like it to produce computerized ways of doing like a kick and a snare and all that, but I think the Oberheim was one of the first to work off of samples, and so you can just take the MP3, put it into any sampler program, and then work backwards into the drum machine itself, and then just fidget with it from there. And that's what I did.
Got it. Wow, I didn't know you did covers for your videos. a shit ton of work, I imagine.
Yeah. I've done like a dozen of them at this point, or like a half dozen of them. I did Real Big from Big Timers. I did Blue Monday by New Order. I did New Magic Wand by Tyler the Creator. I did the middle part of XXX from Kendrick. What else did I cover? I think there was one of them recently wasn't actually a cover. It was actually an original that I did for a video. But it was a short Rally House track that I made for the intro to my Grid video. And that was pretty fun to do. But yeah.
Do you drop them somewhere?
I've dropped some of them. Longtime viewers of my channel might know what I'm about to say. I've dropped 2 of them so far. I've dropped the New Magic Wand cover, and I've dropped that section of the Kendrick cover that I did. The problem was, that Kendrick cover, I'm not going to say blew up, but has gotten massive attention. Like, that cover section, not even the full song, that piece that I did has almost 2,000 views now.
Whoa.
Right. And it's not even the full song. And because of that, I had a lot of people saying, hey, are you going to do the full song? And I went, you know what, I wasn't considering it, but I'd be down. And so about a month or 2 after I released that part, I got a friend of mine to cover the vocal in it, because I can't do Kendrick lyrics for several reasons. So I had to get them to do it. The problem was, though, their voice worked for the section that it was in, but I'm not going to say Kendrick has like a super deep or super masculine sounding voice. The problem is, and if you know anything about music, you'll understand why this is even worse. The person I had cover it was a soprano female voice. Soprano meaning very high in the register. So her voice is really good, and she's a really talented singer, and she does like rapping here and there. The problem is, the first minute and a half of that song is Kendrick going, effectively sounding like, I'll take it. It's like the lowest possible in his register. And trying to get that out of someone whose speaking voice is like an octave and a half higher than his. So whenever I got it, and she did a great job with what she was given. The problem being, now I have to figure out how to mix that to where it still sounds close to the original and good. And I may or may not have kind of hit, it's not really writer's block because the entire song I didn't write, but it's like arranger's block where like, I know how I kind of want this to sound, but I don't know how to get it to there. And it's kind of just been sitting as a project folder in my PC for a year now.
Damn.
Because that video that I did the cover for was released, I think the day before Christmas, or so, Christmas Eve of 24, and it's, as of recording, March of 26. So I may or may not have just let that sit for about a year. When I finish it, and I do plan on finishing it eventually, when I finish it, I will then release other covers and originals that I've made. Because since then I also did a cover of Oldie by Odd Future, and a couple other tracks here and there that I've worked on. But yeah, they're not even for videos. Like every now and then, if I just get the urge to just make some music, I'll just be like, fuck it, I'll do this now.
That's great. Like, are you down to like put the link in the description?
Yeah, I'll link you to the music channel. It's on my public YouTube page along with the live channel and the VOD channel. But yeah.
Awesome. I will put that in the description. But that's
nice.
That's really interesting. That's crazy that you can like make your own covers for your videos. That's really cool.
I'm very pedantic about audio, which is why like game soundtracks was a really good topic for me. Because even in the Need for Speed video, which is where that Kendrick cover comes from, the most talked about song from that video was actually a remix of Do Ya Thang from PSC, which was on the original Most Wanted soundtrack. And I forget its name, but the track that's the outro music for Black Panther, like the YouTuber.
Yeah.
You might have heard that remix because it was featured heavily in the Most Wanted Papega mod, if you're familiar with that.
Oh my god. I am familiar with the Papega mod.
Right. And that was a track that I thought was really good, but the problem was, the original remix of it was a little rough sounding. Like, I think there was a bit too much noise in the mix. Most people don't even notice it, but I am very autistic about audio, so I literally found the original samples used in the Black Panther song, found that song, which wasn't hard to find, took Do You Thing, re-ripped the vocals out of it, and then basically reconstructed the remix, like, back into itself, and changed around a little bit of, like, the tempo stuff and the EQing, so it would sound cleaner than the original.
That is fucking crazy. What?
Yeah, and then I made the hardest edit basically I've ever done paired with that, and every person I show it to is like, bro, you fucking cooked with this, because I did shit like recreating all of the Need for Speed logos, but with text that said, like, the Need for Speed Black Box era.
That shit was insane. Like,
yeah.
It's... How do you manage to do that? It's crazy.
Being dumb and stupid and spending a whole day on 30 seconds because you thought it was gonna be cinema, and it was.
Yeah, I've been there. I've done some type shit like that.
Yeah, because it's like, when you have that stuff in your mind and you just, like, everything locks in and clicks, it's just such a good feeling.
Yeah, oh, definitely. You know, this talk, definitely this talk made me want to work on editing videos again, for sure.
Yeah, and, like, that's what I'm going to be doing after this, is working on my next video, because I've been down for a minute on working on videos, I'm not even going to lie, but now I'm really starting to get back on the move again.
Yeah, no, same, honestly. But I think this is the perfect part to wrap up the podcast.
Yeah.
It's been a really good chat about racing games and racing game soundtracks and music creation as well, and artists we like, and it's been really cool.
Yeah.
So, thank you for watching until the end, and thank you Fastminer07 for being here once again in another episode. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's technically the fourth podcast we recorded because we broke the other one into two, and then neither one of them made it.
Yeah, no, it's lost media. It's definitely lost media.
Yeah,
but
hopefully, lost media that will never be found.
Yeah, sadly. But hey, hopefully this one won't be lost media. But
yeah, as long as I'm not dumb and stupid.
Yeah, just save the fucking episode at the end. Just save it. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching the episode until the end, and thank you Fastminer for being here, and I will see you guys in the next episode.
See ya.
Bye.